Howdy ho, and welcome back to the Basement Club. Today I'm talking about Cold War. As you can tell from the title, it's not great. And I'll get into why I think it's not great, but let's just start off with the overall feeling of Cold War for me. And it's just been severely underwhelming. Just because I think I spent a little too much, but that was from my own accord. This game is worth $70 if you get it on the next gen consoles, the Series X and the PS5. It's worth $60 if you buy it on the One X and the PS4. Now, knowing that this is the price of admission, I have to admit that it's very bad. This game is at least worth maybe $30. That's just pushing it. At least maybe 15 to 20, just because of the state the game is currently in, which is not having enough content. So right off the bat, when Cold War had just released, there was hardly any maps, hardly any weapons. Zombies had only one map and a game mode that it has a small fan base, but not enough to, keep us coming. Not to mention that the campaign, it's short. You're only ever going to play it once and that's it. You move on from it. Yeah, overall content is very lackluster. Same for weapons. There is no reason these weapons should have this many levels for sites that more likely you're not going to use just because you already stick to the same 3 sites probably. They padded it out so that you would take your time trying to unlock everything, and I think that's just not the way to do it. They knew that they didn't have any content just because this game was originally made by a whole different company and someone else took over and had to scrap something in 7 months or so, and it really does show. So knowing this, I think this was not worth the full price you essentially paid. And since I paid for 2 copies, for one for me and one for my girlfriend, I came to realize that this game is just not good. Skill-based matchmaking, microtransactions like up the butt. You can buy stuff for like $20. Again, there is no reason this game should be $60 if it's just going to charge you all these microtransactions. You might as well charge it the minimum. You get more money in, but whatever. That's just me being me. So with multiplayer, I realized that after a while, it's just not fun to play with, just because skill-based matchmaking is still a thing in the game. It's semi-annoying just because you can get one great game and then immediately get absolutely destroyed the next game, and it's just this endless cycle of doing that. They kept the lobbies thing together, I guess. It doesn't matter when half the time these people leave and then you get even more worse people on your team or on the enemy team absolutely wipe the floor with you. And again, not enough content, so not enough maps and the weapons. And maps, there's hardly any. Half of them are remakes, or at least the DLC that we have been given is remakes. Weapons, they haven't done any weapon tuning, and funny enough, at the time of recording this, I realized that they are going to do a weapon tuning next week of March 30th, around there. Again, it took them 6 months to do this, and it just goes to show that this game shouldn't have been priced at $60. But let's just move on from that. Now, heading over to zombies, again, we only got one map. We got some cool semi-new game modes, but they were temporary, and again, they only add so much when you play them on the same map over and over again. We did get Firebase C, which was a really cool map, but again, when you only have one thing to play for about a month or two, it gets very boring. So that was for Season 1. I don't even remember the weapons they gave us. They were just not great. We also got Season 2, which just is about to hit its mid-season mark. Again, lackluster content, guns we've seen before, more or less play the same. We're getting a crossbow that everyone has used before, and I don't know why everyone gets excited like it's the mother of all DLCs, but again, we got Outbreak as a zombie mode. Very cool to see zombies getting more love, but when you play the fire team at Dirty Bomb maps and just realize how hollow it is, and there's a couple zombies here and there, and sure, yeah, they get difficult every area you go into, but you start seeing the repetition in the maps, and it's just not that great after a while. The more I play this game, the more I realize I should play less of it, and I have been playing less and less of it as more content drops, which should be the opposite. That goes to show that this game is not very great with its own content. Everyone acts like it's the greatest coming, but it's not worth any hype that it's given. I don't know where people will get excited for. I, unfortunately, was one of the people that was really excited for Cold War, and as time has passed by, I realized, yeah, that was not worth any energy I put into, and I was very excited to at least get something different from Modern Warfare, a little change of pace. It just feels more of the same. And, talking about lackluster things, Warzone just completely took a nosedive from where it was. Sure, they might have peak player base numbers, and sure, a lot of people play it, but it's overall just broken. Hackers are running loose. Half the meta is literally these exact same weapons up until the Cold War implementation, and even then, everyone's using the same meta weapons. There needs to be more weapons introduced, or at least a change in meta every so often, not every month, but maybe every 2 months, change the meta a bit, so at least people can explore more weapons, because you can play Warzone with weapons that are not very useful, but you can at least have fun with that. But if someone that is using all meta weapons and playing like their whole family's on the line, well, yeah, it's not fun because you absolutely get destroyed. You can't really have fun with that. Overall, Warzone, each time it tries to set up like an event, it's not that great. So we only had 2 events, if my memory serves me right, which was the Halloween event, which was actually a cool change of pace, but again, it's just like a game mode, and it's not very big and exciting. Sure, get a change of pace in gameplay. That's cool. But again, very lackluster. We also had received the Cold War event, which was actually probably the best event the game had, which they revealed the title Cold War, and you play this thing to get a weapon skin that you got from Modern Warfare, and then you realize, hey, they actually revealed Cold War at the end of the event. Cool idea. Wish there was more of it. Oh, right, there's more events. The Resurgence event, which added the playlist, which is Rebirth Island, which turns out is a reskin of Alcatraz Island from Black Ops 4. Again, kind of keeping that trend of just reusing things we've already seen before. And now we have the Outbreak event, which was actually kind of exciting for me because they were going to introduce zombies to Warzone. And as it came out, you came to realize that it's very underwhelming. And the rumor about the nuke event and the nuke going off and destroying the map they're currently in has been around for maybe a year, since last March, since it's been released. That rumor has been going around that a nuke is supposed to go off, or it was supposed to go off every so often, but again, not. It leads up to this grand thing and it just falls face first into the ground, and it's just a constant cycle of that. And knowing that Outbreak is slowly building up as zombies move to area, which would be cool if it got overrun rather than move to area, kind of, cementing the fact that zombies are taking over the map and maybe we will get nuked. But guess what? I'm not very optimistic about it, because as this event is going on, it's been very slow, and this slow buildup might actually be worth it or might not. So I'm just taking it with 2 grains of salt. But overall, those are just my thoughts about Cold War, and I'm all over the place with this just because it's just, I have not been happy with this game so far, and it's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. Hopefully we get to see the new Call of Duty game that's coming out this year be a little different. But again, if we're getting a Call of Duty game every year, what can we expect? We expect grand things, but it's all the same every year. And I don't know why I do that to myself, but that's just the way I think. But overall, that's my 2 cents on this. Regardless of what happens next in Call of Duty, I'm trying my best to make a video about it, or if I feel like making a video about it, because this took a little too long. But anyways, regardless, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.